A 150-person operation that has trained over 10,000 telemarketers across 25 years.
The greatest pleasure in life is if you can build something on your own.
What was going through your mind? Was it fear, excitement, or something entirely different?
Two types of butterflies. You have one if you're standing on heights and you don't want to jump off a bridge.
How did you build a culture that kept people motivated and genuinely proud of the work they are doing?
If you have the desire to learn a second language, it bears the mark of higher education.
It's not an easy job, telemarketing.
When you invest an enormous amount of time training somebody, imagine if they leave you after the first paycheck or on a Friday.
Walk us through the first 90 days. What was the hardest thing you had to figure out?
That was the one thing that gave me the security to do this.
What do founders need to understand about AI that they are probably getting wrong? What does it take to leave everything you know, move to a foreign country at 27, and build a thriving business from scratch? Today's guest did exactly that and then some. Richard Blank traded Philadelphia for Costa Rica, followed a dream and a vision most people would have called crazy, and turned it into Costa Rica's call center, a 150-person operation that has trained over 10,000 telemarketers across 25 years. He's collected a record from American Pinball Machine and Scholar Donor, and a podcast veteran with over 300 appearances. Hi, Richard. Welcome to Founders Outlook.
Hey, Julia, so happy to be with you and your audience today. Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
Thank you. And you were born and raised in Philadelphia. Then at 25, you packed up and moved to Costa Rica. Most people would have called that crazy. What was going through your mind? Was it fear, excitement, or something entirely different?
Two types of butterflies. You have one if you're standing on heights and you don't want to jump off a bridge. But then there's other butterflies you have when you ask your crush to dance and then you fall in love and have the greatest life you could ever have. And so this was a good butterfly. This was a thing that I knew that I was doing the right thing. But Juliet, I was also working on a second language that I had as a backup for me. So when I moved to Costa Rica, Spanish was my major in college. So I was able to, I guess, blend a little bit better than some people do that might need extra assistance or not really being able to integrate into a society. But you find the areas in which you feel comfortable, you keep an open mind and you learn a culture. And then the next thing you know, your life becomes that much richer. And so it's a nice game to play.
Yeah, and you described it as a spiritual vision quest that came true. Can you take us inside the moment? What did you see for your future and how did you know you had to go after it?
When something is given to you, it's great. A home cooked meal, someone might give you money or a job or whatever. But the greatest pleasure in life is if you can build something on your own. And so what I tried to do was to shed some skin. The Australians call it walkabouts. And so I was at a perfect age where I wasn't too old, too young. I was just, where I needed to be. And I decided to test the waters a little bit and to see without any friends or family, can I begin again? And to see what it would be like to start from scratch. And so every day to me could have been the last. And I had more energy than I could possibly imagine. I was staying up late, waking up early, but I was on the go and I was just trying to drink it and get it all in. And so imagine living life like that, where all your senses are so heightened that you're just living on cloud nine. And I just didn't want that specific experience, high energy to end. And so I decided to see what I could do to make that a long play and how long I could stay here.
Yeah. So now to your founder story, starting a call center in a foreign country in 2008. Walk us through the first 90 days. What was the hardest thing you had to figure out?
For the entrepreneurs that watched your show, it's the uncertainty because I was just starting out like the entrepreneur compared to the seasoned pro. So I didn't see the repetition or the patterns. I couldn't see the tell signs. I mean, I worked in a call center, but it's different when you are leading the ship and having to make financial decisions and
Yeah.
plan ahead. And so for me, it was the uncertainty for the stability of the agent. When you invest an enormous amount of time training somebody, imagine if they leave you after the first paycheck or on a Friday. And so you have to be extremely selective, Juliet, on who you choose to
Yeah.
be part of these projects. So it's just not a one and a done. So my first 90 days was getting something to stick, to get an
Hmm.
anchor, to get something that would be so strong that it might last. And so
Yeah.
that was my big breath that I took in the beginning on those first 90 days to see if I can have a foundation and grow from there.
Yeah. And you grew to 150 employees and trained over 10,000 telemarketers in 25 years. What is that one thing you believe most business owners get completely wrong about managing a business? I know you mentioned you need to get the right ones and train them right so they don't leave you maybe after the first week. What is
That's right.
that thing you've seen founders, the mistake they make when starting up a company?
I understand that there's position and power, and you may have leverage to hire and fire, but you're also
Yep.
dealing with a human being. And Juliet, you and I have gotten our first jobs. I don't know if you ever worked at a restaurant before. I mean, a lot of us have
No.
shared experiences where we built character, but it wasn't a long-term job. And so
Okay.
these are individuals that do go home to families that live and
Yep.
learn, and you could make an impression. You could be that individual to leave them with something that makes them better. And
Yep.
so when you and I have sat in certain meetings and been at certain companies and had to deal with many different types of bosses and partners, I always believe that the greatest way to begin a relationship was to treat somebody with respect. Doesn't mean I have to agree with you, and I'm not going to buy from
Yep.
you, but
Mm-hmm.
I can respect you and I cannot rush you. And so when you have a certain pace, Juliet, you get a certain rhythm
Yeah.
and it
And
seems to fit perfectly. Yes.
yeah. And your business telemarketing, right? It has a
Yeah.
reputation. How did you build a culture that kept people motivated and genuinely proud of the work they are doing? It's not an easy job, telemarketing.
No, but it makes it even tougher, my friend, when you choose a campaign that compromises your ethics, values, and morals. If you hate your job, your boss
Yeah.
is terrible, they don't pay, your manager screams at you. Why would you want to be there? And so I also can't give you a reclining chair, back massage, call center environment either. I mean, it's a real job, but if you can separate yourself from the grind, because a lot of
Yeah.
jobs have a grind, imagine manual labor. And so if you look at it like the art of speech, like you do, being from beautiful Nigeria and all the
Yeah.
different languages and cultures that you have on that
Culture.
continent, it's the
Yep.
kind of thing where you have a beauty mark, your
Yeah.
accent. And if you have the
Yep.
desire to learn a second language, it bears the mark of higher education. And so I try to incorporate a renaissance, the art of speech, learning, I guess, very strategic vocabulary, going into the thesaurus and replacing words that could create a rabbit hole, maintain a positive tone. You might think it's simple and common sense, but a lot of people are lazy in their speech, or they like to curse, or they scream, and it's just, you wonder why individuals can save calls and manipulate in a way where you're not taking advantage of someone, you're just extending time by asking certain questions, stacking questions, raking and repeating, and really just marinating it so nothing gets lost. It is a trade. It's a beautiful thing. It's almost like people that can draw your silhouette in the town square. They can draw, some people can speak. And so
Yeah.
with immense amount of practice, you become an expert at it. And so people can find their pace and their rhythm. The bad calls don't bother them. And when the numbers increase and they make more money, this is the interesting thing. It's like somebody in the gym that's got big muscles. They love sharing their skills and their experience with somebody else that has the desire. So if
Yeah.
somebody wants to learn how to save a call, use a rebuttal, make an introduction, those aces and those strong players love to share. And
Yeah.
so you're in an environment that gets a little bit higher than just money. It's really about something where people are, or it's more of a learned environment, which is
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah. And, you spoke about sharing, and that draws me to when I was researching about you. You endow with scholarship every year for students who plan to study world languages at the university level. That's
Yeah.
a very specific investment. What's the story behind it?
Well, listen, I wasn't an athlete. I didn't get one of those scholarships, nor did I get
Yeah.
academic. I wasn't smart, but I love languages. And
Yeah, I
you and I
noticed.
both
Yep.
know we both speak multiple languages, how long it takes and the dedication.
Yeah.
It's not something you can spin or just do overnight or be cute for 5 minutes. This is the kind of thing you might earn a living off of. And so when I sponsor the books for freshman year for a graduating senior at Abington High School, what I like to do is I put myself in their shoes. They are giving
Mm-hmm.
themselves a gift that separates themselves from so many. That was the one thing that gave me the security to do this compared to, let's say, a doctor, an attorney, an engineer, or somebody going into a family business. I was taking the risk of that second language to see what
Mm-hmm.
door that would open and where that would take me.
Yeah.
And you talked about naysayers and great believers and people that say I'm crazy negativity.
Mm-hmm.
It's only because they never learned how to do a flip. They never learned how to do it. And
Yep.
until you understand where I'm coming from, it's very difficult to put that. And you know what it is, Julia? It's people that love you and care about you. They just want to protect your heart and make sure you don't get hurt. But if you keep you and I off of the roller coaster, that's the
Mm-hmm.
best. Imagine you and I got front row on that roller coaster. That's always the greatest seat when you're doing loop to loops. And so you should never
Yeah.
deprive somebody of living a very full life.
Yeah. And talking about living a very full life, it's like you're into music as well. Because you hired Gary Bears to produce a rock music, a rock song and music video filmed right at your call center. How did the
Yeah.
conversation ever happen? What drew your interest? What made you start that?
First, I got to ask you a question. You remember the
Yeah.
band In Excess, don't you?
Yep.
Songs like Need You Tonight, New Sensation, Never Tear Us Apart, Suicide Blonde. I mean, I could go through the whole library. My
Yeah.
favorite band. And so a good friend of mine down here, Igni Faroki, wrote a song about my call center called Shine Like the Sun. And
Mm-hmm.
so you and I, we always follow people's podcasts, and I heard Gary Beers talking about his company in Los Angeles where he makes bass guitars and
Yep.
went on his website, and one section said, hire Gary. He says, yo, man, if you got a song, send it to me. And if it passes something I can
I will
do, then
make
I'll
it.
work with you.
Yeah.
So you and I are like, yo, let's do this. So, you would have been cool about it. Like, Gary, check it out. Let me know, Juliet. Not me. I did like
Yeah.
3 pages. I took the opportunity to write him a book on how much I love that band. And
Yeah.
the gentleman wrote me back the following day. I couldn't believe
Wow.
it. And so
Yeah.
through the course of some correspondence, I had to make a video at his location in Los Angeles. It was a performance video, but
Mm.
it was playing to the music where he laid the bass track, helped us with some
Mm-hmm.
synthesizer, added a little bit of beats to it, and just
Mm-hmm.
his touch. And for anybody that believes in electromagnetic transfer of energy from
Yeah.
individuals, that was a blast. And it's a gift that keeps
Wow.
on giving. And so yeah, I respected the arts. I produced a project. We filmed a funny call center video with the locals here and combined it with his performance video. And there you go, Shine Like the Sun. Gary Beers and
Nice.
Igni Faroki. Check it out.
Okay, drawing you back into today's world, you listed AI as both a pro and a con in your world. From where you
Yes.
sit, running a call center built on human connection, what do founders need to understand about AI that they are probably getting wrong?
Self-checkout at the grocery store, the kiosk at the airport. Or
Mm-hmm.
even the ATM machine to get your cash. Because Juliet,
Mm-hmm.
imagine if you and I had to wait in line to get it at the bank all the time. That'd be a pain. And so I can't force people to be inconvenient. And I also believe that when you have a level 1 support where you're just confirming information, where it's not too complicated, where you have to put in too many letters or speak too long where it can't catch it. But it's an
Mm-hmm.
excellent way to gather and to organize for a second and third level individual. And so it will be reducing certain areas of my industry, but also kind of like a concierge or a first class service that will only be expanded for older individuals or those that didn't get a resolution or just
Mm-hmm.
someone that wants to talk to somebody. But they haven't mastered it yet. I still receive calls, robocalls, and it might sound like Judy offering
Mm-hmm.
something, but the
Yeah.
timing is off. There's
Yes.
something called the uncanny valley. As much as mannequins might look like humans, there's still something a little different in the store. And the same thing with the voice. It might sound just like me or you, but it's that human timing. They still haven't mastered it yet. And the one thing they're really not going to master, Juliet, I mentioned it before, it's empathy.
Mm.
AI 1,000 years from now could be the greatest thing in the world, but it will never replace human
Human. Mm-hmm.
compassion between two
Yeah.
people. There could be 1,000 people at an event, and I see you across the room, and I wave my hand, and you wave back at me. You can't hear me. I can't hear you. But we connected. There was the smile, there was the what's up, and everything like that. It spoke volumes. And so AI will never be able to do that between two humans. And so, am I okay with it? It depends on what you want to do. I don't want to swim against the current. There was a movie called Zorba the Greek with Anthony Quinn. I'm willing to put my arms out on the beach, dance back and forth while the ship goes down. I mean, it's just how it goes. But I'm not
Yeah.
done yet. That's why I always believe there are some individuals that do want that interpersonal high class experience.
Mm-hmm. And do you think AI has taken over the call center and telemarketing job? Or do you think there is still that opportunity or gap in the market?
It's large enough to notice it.
Yep.
So it's not like a very special thing, like when you go to the restaurant and they have the robot come out and bring you the food. I mean, that's a novelty. Um, Not now. It's
Okay.
almost there. It's almost there. And as I say before, AI with their gathering and with the repetition, they'll get it. And some people might be willing to take a bland robotic answer if it's the correct answer compared to someone giving you flowers and not the real answer. And so it really all depends on your sense of urgency, the question that you're asking, how it's being responded to you. That's all fine. I don't mind. But don't think, and I'm going to say it for the third time, that if somebody's calling for insurance, a law firm, a doctor's office, a psychiatrist's office, areas where there might be a heightened sense of emotion or instability, where your best friend might need to be that shoulder for you. It would
Mm-hmm.
be highly insulting to have a robot comfort me if I'm crying because I need to call the funeral parlor or I got in a
Yeah.
car accident. I'm on the phone with my insurance company nervous because someone got hurt. That's the only thing that I get, I guess, passionate about because I think it wouldn't be very respectful to somebody that would try to incorporate soothing vocabulary or something when it really would be, in my mind, just another additional question to get you off the phone.
Yeah. And you've appeared in on over 300 podcasts. What is that conversation you keep having that tells you most founders or business owners are missing something fundamental?
Listen, I could be the one that's missing everything. All I'm doing is raising my hand. I'm saying, listen, my favorite color is
Yeah.
mint. I don't know what
Yep.
yours is. So I'm just saying that I'm that one specific color, the crayon box. You mentioned my
Yeah.
story being unique. There might be some that can relate. Most can't. But that's
Mm-hmm.
okay because if I'm able to share something along the way about my
Mm-hmm.
composure, about something that I did, I guess the one thing, Julia, that I could share with your entire audience, the
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur code, it's being able to live with oneself, removing
Okay.
mental weight so you can move forward, still being responsible, but also being assertive. Where if you think 40 hours, and I'm not saying it in a rude way, 40 hours is not full-time work. If you speak to a budding CEO or a business owner, they're not doing
Yeah.
it to seem cool. They'd rather be on a golf course or on their boat or with their family. But in order to handle so many branches and roots, it takes time. And each one has structure of supervisors, team leaders, agents, IT, and what else could go wrong? That takes time. And so I didn't realize that it's so labor intensive. Is there
Okay.
wasted time? Okay, yeah. But if you need to press a button 100 times and that's what makes you $2,000 that day, you're going to do it. But what happens if it takes you 14 hours to do that?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? And so, I mean, these are certain questions you need to ask yourself. These are sacrifices that you need to make, but you also need to be responsible with your family and your bills and things like that. But listen, if you're able to juggle the two, my dear Juliet, be able to handle that, then the
Yeah.
world is yours. Then you have
Yeah.
that additional time. And you need to work out because if you get sick, you're no good. You need consistent diet. You need to feel good. Yeah, McDonald's and Pringles are fine. I'm cool with that. Let's go get a pizza and a beer, right? Let's all definitely do that. But listen,
Yeah.
listen, buddy, if you don't have the go-go juice to put in those 8, 10, 12-hour days, you're done. And so I'm not
Yeah.
trying to sound like a dad. I'm just letting you know. I mean, if you don't have
Yeah.
this sort of stuff, you're not going to make it. And so you just have structure and have discipline. Don't be hard on yourself. And at the end of the day, give yourself 5 and be proud of yourself. And
Yeah.
realize someone like Juliet is out there rooting for you and wants you to
Yeah.
succeed. And
Sure.
and that's why I'm here, my friend. It's just to share these ideas, not to sell a book, but just to
Yep.
let you know that you're not alone. And I've
Yep.
done this, and so you can do it as well.
And what is it about Richard Blank or your business that I've not asked you that you want the audience to know about you?
Oh, I'm a pinball machine collector. I know you mentioned it a little bit
Yeah.
earlier in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did they have arcades back in Nigeria back in the day
Yeah, they
with
do. They
Pac-Man and
do.
stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone loved it, didn't they?
Yeah, I
That
love
that was like
it.
the fun place to hang out. And so
Yeah.
your couple quarters or whatever money you had to last. I mean, that was a major luxury and a lot of money. But
Yep.
it's like a kid in a candy store. It's as much as you can eat. So the fact that I was able to find these machines and get them, I'm having the best time. It allows me to decompress. I love the
Okay.
restoration. I got a nice game room. And in this crazy life where you only have such limited time, if you don't like playing golf, don't do it. But if you love driving convertible cars, that's your gig, then do it. You should really spend time in what you enjoy. And it
Yeah,
took
I agree.
me a lot of work to get this collection, but I'm so happy. I'm the happiest kid in the world. And if you can have that energy for one day, then you're the king for
Yep.
that day. And so I
Yep.
think it's a very nice way to live for your entrepreneurs. That I'm going to give a football term. You're getting more first downs than you are touchdowns. And you have to grind out the yardage to get
Yep.
this. You'll get your long runs from time to time and your gifts, but you're gonna have to earn it. It's almost like a prize fighter that has to go 12. I mean, these are things that, man, Juliet, you look left and right sometimes and you say, do I stop? Why am I even doing this? And there's that spark in you that tells you to keep going. And those are the legends. Those are the ones that can make it over the mountain and through the seas and the deserts, you know?
Yep. And you've lived in Costa Rica for nearly 25 years. If you had to distill what Pura Vida, the Costa Rican way of life, has taught you about business and leadership, what would that be?
A push and a pull. It is a completely
Yep.
different culture.
Mm-hmm.
In Costa Rica, they have an expression called pura vida, which
Vida, yep.
translates to pure life. And
Mm-hmm.
that's nice. And so imagine if you're living in perfect weather, palm trees, beaches. I mean, you don't want to work. Not saying they don't work, but they don't want to
Yeah.
work. I mean, so,
Yeah.
maybe in Philadelphia, I'm a go, go, go kind of guy. And so, yeah, you can get them there. They're great with tourism and other sort of industries, but, and God bless them to put
Yep.
anybody, not just a Costa
Yep.
Rican tico, but anybody on a phone for 160 hours a month. You really need to have a strong back and heart for that. But For me, it was expectations.
Mm.
You literally
Okay.
can't expect someone to lift as much as you or run as fast as you. This was my native
Mm-hmm.
tongue. This is my wheelhouse. I'm an owner of a call center, sharpest knife in the set. And so if I expected somebody to be able to do that, then I'm selling everybody short. And
Yeah.
so for me, what it was, I needed checkpoints with people, but I also needed commitment. If you can do dedicated practice outside the office, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
asking you to spend all of your time, but whistle while you work. And so if I can see people progressing, then that's a
Mm-hmm.
very good investment, my friend. That means that we're all growing together. And so you get an eye for those sort of things, kind of like a gardener. He can see the growth. And so that was it for me. I just wanted to make sure that the people were getting bigger and stronger while we were in each other's presence.
Yep. Yep, Richard. This has been one of those conversations I know our audience is going to be talking about. You
Hey,
remind us
listen.
that the biggest leaps across ocean, across industry are the ones worth taking. Thank you for
Mm,
bringing Pura Vida to Founders Outlook.
had the best
Everyone
time.
found, yeah, you can find Richard, the Costa Rican call center, through the link in the description below. And please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, Richard, for
Juliet, you
joining
have a
us.
good one. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Until next time, I'm Juliet, and this is Founders Outlook. Bye.